Let's set up a BlackMagic ATEM Mini as a live video feed input for Unreal Engine for any virtual production uses. So the input is going to be a USB camera-based input. So the ATEM Mini connects to the computer via USB cable. We're going to use the media framework from Epic to make that connection possible. So I created a new project with the virtual production live events template, and that gives us those plugins. Just to make sure that they're on, I can go into the edit menu, plugins, and then search for media framework, and there are our utilities and our IO, and they are enabled, so we are good to go. With that, I'm going to create a media player, and that's going to bring in the video for us. So I'll right click in our content area, choose media, and select media player. Unreal gives us the option to generate a texture from that media player. We want that so that we can put that into the scene. I'll say OK and give this a name, ATEM Mini Input 01. And we have that input, and we also now have that texture. So let's put that texture to use. We'll just drag a plane into the scene, bring this up, tap E to rotate it, 80, 90, there we are, W to move it over, get it in the center of the frame. This up a little bit, and also I'm just going to rotate and middle mouse drag over here so that I can click on this player startup and just pull that back a little bit so that, you know, when I hit play here, we're looking right at that plane, and we'll be able to see the video result. So that's very nice. There's the plane. Maybe I'll hit R and right middle mouse drag this up a little bit, increase its size so it fills up. Okay. So we'll take that plane and use the texture, drag and drop that texture on there. That generates a material for us. I'm going to set this up a little bit more like a video screen. So I double click the material. I'm going to take this texture RGB pin, connect it to emissive, so this behaves more like a screen. And I'm going to, with the material selected, I'm going to go ahead and change that from a shading model of default lit to being an unlit material, and that'll get rid of any kind of reflections and shine from lighting. Hit save on that. We are good to go. Now all we need to do is bring in our ATEM Mini video. So I'll double click on the media player, and right here I have a little folder underneath the save button. I click on that and I go down to video, and in that submenu, BlackMagic Design is how my ATEM Mini shows up. I select that, and there's my live video from the ATEM Mini, and it's showing up on the plane. Wonderful. So let me just select this plane, hit E to rotate it since it's sideways. Bring that around 90 degrees. I'll hit R, just kind of rough in this wide aspect ratio. I could numerically enter those values in the scale, but this is good. So we're pretty good here, except that when we actually run this level and hit play, the media player doesn't connect to the ATEM Mini automatically. So what we need to do is put in some kind of a blueprint that picks up the event begin play and uses that as a trigger to actually connect the media player to the ATEM Mini every time we start up the level. So let's hit stop for a moment here, and we'll reconnect. So I'm just going to click this drop down, choose video, BlackMagic Design, and this URL right here, this is what we're going to need in order to connect this media player to the ATEM Mini. So I'm going to select this URL, Control C, copy, and then we can close this. We're not worried about it playing anymore because we're just going to have it automatically start up with the level. To catch that event begin play, I'm just going to create a blueprint actor. So right click, we'll do a blueprint. I'll choose actor and call this ATEM startup actor. We'll drag that actor out into the level so that it will receive the event. And then finally, we just need to set up the blueprint. So double click, open this up. It will look at the event graph. Right mouse drag so I can see the event begin play. So for this to work, I need to be able to reference the media player itself in the blueprint. We do that through a variable. So under variables, I'm going to go plus to add a variable. I'll give it a name, ATEM Media Player. Now it's got a little red mark next to it that indicates that it is a Boolean variable, not a media player. So we're going to go over here and change the variable type to media player. So I click this drop down, I type in media player, and it shows up under object types media player. So now this variable is a media player type. We just need to run compile so that we get all the right options into that variable. And now that compile worked, this is where we put our media player to connect the variable to the asset. So I'm just going to drag my ATEM Mini input into our default value for the media. And now that connects this variable to that media player. We'll drag the variable out into our blueprint and choose Get ATEM Media Player. Drag off of this pin, and we need to set the URL. So I'm just going to type in URL, and sure enough, we have a function for opening URL tied to media player. So we'll go ahead and open that, right mouse drag so we can see everything. Here's our URL that we want. So I'll just click in there and Control V to paste it. I copied it earlier. That's the URL to my ATEM Mini. And finally, I just need to connect these workflows so that the event begin play triggers our open URL. And we are good to go. I'll hit compile, all is good. Save, close, and now when we hit play, there it is, the live ATEM Mini video going into Unreal Engine. Hope that helps. Till next time, have fun.